Hi, welcome to this screencast on Ruby idioms part 5. In this screencast, I'll go through the inject method in enumerable and some idiomatic way to do some conditionals, and then we will look at the splat operator. So let's get started. Zero to 10. I'm going to inject and provide a block. The first argument is the initial value for the sum. This is basically an accumulator. When I add, each time this thing executes for each of these elements in this range, it's going to sum that particular number, and this accumulator will accumulate the addition of those two values. So let's store that value in a variable and print it. And it finds the sum of all the values. So how can we encapsulate this? So we could just use a method, let's say sum. I want to be able to say sum to find all the total of all the elements in this range. So if I run this now, but it won't work since there is no method sum. So I'm going to open up the module enumerable and define the sum method there. It will have inject. If you don't provide the value for the input argument, it's going to be 0. So we'll just do sum plus number. Now let's print out the value. There it is. It's 55. Now let's move on to another idiom where you may have code like this. For instance, if some string is A or B or C, you want to do something. Let's say it's A. It's A or B or C. This looks more like C code, procedural code. The Ruby's idiomatic way to do this would be using the include method like this. You just check if that string is present in any of these values here. As you can see, it works. The last idiom I want to show you is the splat operator. Let's say name equals define an array of comedians another array of action heroes. So in the case statement, I can switch on the value of name and use the splat operator like this. Comedians, I want to do something. And when it is action heroes, I want to do something else. Okay, now if you run this, you can see you're a comedian. It knows the splat operator is able to figure out, okay, this particular name is found in this array, and it appropriately branches. Actually, the Ruby docs for the enumerable also has some good examples for the inject method, like finding the longest word and finding the length of the longest word, which takes a block which has more logic than just a simple sum that I have shown here. You could use it for multiplication, any logic that you can think of within the block. So it's a good idea to refer the Ruby docs to pick up a few ways of using inject. And if I change this, it'll say you're an action hero. So that's how this splat operator works, and it's very useful in the case statement. And that's it for this screencast, and if you enjoyed it, please recommend me on working with Rails. Thank you. God bless.